Aren't you tired of second-guessing yourself, wondering about all the mixed signals the man you're seeing is giving off? We've all been in that awkward place where we're just not sure if the person we're dating feels the same way about us as we do about them. If you've found yourself thinking along those lines, then this video is just for you. By the end of this video, you will learn exactly what phrases to look out for to know just how deeply he loves you. So make sure to give this video your full attention. And if you're new here, subscribe for more social psychology videos and leave a comment below saying I subscribed. I'll try my best to reply to as many comments as possible. Let's start. Number 9. I love when. If you're disappointed that he hasn't said I love you yet, don't worry. Saying those 3 words everyone wants to hear is surprisingly tough for men, but that doesn't mean they're not thinking about it. It's bound to come out in one way or another, so if he wants to tell you how much you mean to him but he's not sure if he's ready for that yet, he'll start to describe other things he just loves about you. It might be a dress you wear, or when you style your hair a certain way, or the way you laugh. It might not be those 3 little words, but if he looks over to you and tells you that you look gorgeous, hypes you up before a special event, or tries to make you feel better about your insecurities, then that sure comes pretty close. The point is, words of affirmation are a great way of telling if a man is in love with you. So the next time he says he loves the way you look, you know what that's code for. But speaking of love languages like this one, there's another thing to look out for that's a surefire way of telling just how devoted a man is to you. Number 8. I did this for you. If you find a man doing things for you even when you didn't ask him to, you've got yourself a keeper. You might have heard of this already, but acts of service are one of the most common love languages men show. These are things like helping you out with chores, going grocery shopping together, or even giving your car an oil change. Men sure love giving your car an oil change. It can also show if he starts getting you gifts when he sees something he thinks you might like. It means he's constantly thinking about you even when you're not there, and he's trying to show you how much you mean to him. Men are socialized to feel needed, so if he wants to be your white knight, you should count yourself as a very lucky person. And then there are the 3 words that men say when they're infatuated with you. Number 7. Come with me. Not the 3 words you were waiting for? Don't worry, those will come in a few moments as well, but until he musters up the courage to say them, you can still tell if things are going in the right direction. When a man is deeply in love with you, he'll find excuses to be with you. He'll make time for you and ask you to do things with him. You'll become a priority in his life, and no amount of time will be quite enough for him. He'll ask you when you can hang out again just after you're done spending time together, or he'll ask you to come as his +1 at a family or work event. A survey of 6,029 couples from the U.S. National Survey of Families and Households also found that the more time couples spend in physical proximity, the happier they are. If he loves you, he'll do anything to be around you and increase that physical proximity, even if it's doing something men usually hate, like shopping. But this isn't the only way men will try to increase the time you spend together. There's another thing they say that you have to look out for. Number 6. Keep your stuff at my place. It's not completely moving in, but it's the next best thing, and it's probably one of the biggest relationship milestones. It means he loves you enough to let you into his space, and he probably wouldn't do that for just about anyone. After all, his apartment is cluttered enough already. Having a drawer of your things at someone's place opens a whole new world of possibilities. Suddenly, you can stay the night a lot more often, and there's no rush to get home in the morning. There are so many more things you can do now, and there's always a spot at his place if you need it. Turns out that if you have the key to his apartment, you also probably already have the key to his heart. But speaking of homes, there's another thing that men say related to their houses that can tell you he's crazy about you. Number 5. Meet my family. We've finally gotten to the dreaded family meeting. Ladies and gents, we know this one may be a cause for anxiety for a lot of people, but it's also a surefire way of telling if a man is really serious about you. He's not going through the hassle of arranging a meeting with his parents if he doesn't see himself staying with you for a long time. He's started thinking about the long run, and he sees you in it with his family. So if this phrase does come your way, it's something to celebrate. You're doing something right, and if you can nail the family meeting, it's all smooth sailing from there. He may not have said those 3 little words already, but after this, they may be coming sooner than you think. And now that we've got the initial stuff covered, let's get to the really important things. If he says any of those things, you better know what you signed up for. Number 4. I miss you. Did he say he missed you? Okay, he's been head over heels swooning over you, because if you thought it was tough for men to say I love you, this might be even more difficult. Men almost never say stuff like this. Psychologists have known for years that men tend to avoid feelings that can make them feel vulnerable, and it doesn't get much more vulnerable than this. So if he's working through all of those feelings to admit he misses you, he probably also misses you more than he lets on. And it also means he's very, very deeply in love with you. And believe it or not, there's something that's even harder for them to say out loud. Number 3. I'm sorry. When Elton John said sorry was the harshest word, he wasn't kidding. This isn't something that just men struggle with saying, because nobody likes to admit when they're wrong. It might seem like basic decency, but you'd be surprised by how many people have a hard time with it. And usually, if someone does admit that they're wrong about something, it's because something very important is on the line. If a man apologizes to you, you mean a lot to him. Now, this doesn't mean you should let him off the hook just because he apologized, but it's good to know anyway. And finally, the thing everyone's been waiting for. Number 2, I love you. And there we have it, the 3 little words everyone's been waiting for. The feeling you get when you hear this is worth all the confusion and the mixed signals, and you know for sure that it's true, and he loves you more than anything. And don't worry if you haven't said I love you yet. According to a study conducted by an MIT psychologist in 2011, men say I love you an average of 6 weeks before women do, and they're thinking about confessing way before even that. So chances are, even if he hasn't said the 3 special words yet, it's probably just a matter of time, especially if you can check off the other items on the list. But what if there was something even more important? After all, some people doubt the authenticity of someone saying the L word. Well, there is one more thing to look out for that if he says, there can't be any doubts in your mind anymore. Number 1, he will say we, us, and our. You lucky person. Until now, everything we've talked about has been about him or you, but if you've moved on to plural pronouns, you can say with absolute certainty that he loves you. This means that he started thinking of you people together as a unit instead of as me and them. You might catch him mentioning the future, talking about marriage or kids. It means he wants you by his side 7 days a week, maybe for the rest of his life. It also means he's made plans way in advance, and he wants you to be the leading lady or man. Either way, there's no better method to tell how much he loves you, and who knows, you might even be showing off a brand new ring soon. Well, there you have it. The 9 signs that a man is absolute head over heels crazy about you. Comment down below about which of these things he's said to you and which ones you'd most like him to say. Now, you need to watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. It will show you 6 ways that trigger love in a man and what men really love to hear from you. Make sure to watch it now. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.